How do I work on my capacity to give and receive love? Thank you, Curtis, for the question. The first thing is to lean into this mind shift about what love really is. Is love a finite number of units, that I could give and I could receive? Or is it a state of our consciousness that could be amplified and shared? Because when you look at love as something that is already inside of you, that is innate, that could be only expressed and amplified through your connection to the other, then the path to working on giving and receiving love is pretty straightforward. You have to practice being in love by yourself first. And since this is a spiritual blog, I'm going to talk about it from the position that love is oneness. Love is union, right? Love is we're one thing. And that one thing, that connection creates beautiful things. It creates physical love, it creates care, it creates exchanges of all sorts. Sometimes I ask people to imagine a time in their life when they're a kid and they're playing and everything is great without anyone. Nothing special is happening. You're just connected to the grass, to the rain, to the puddles. And then imagine that, a dog or a cat or a friend comes along and they just make this better. That's love. You already are connected to yourself. That's the most important thing, right? The self love, as they call it, except that it's not overcoming of anything. It's just being one in union with who you are. And then if you can sustain this feeling of union with who you are and be present with another, your capacity for giving and receiving love in the real world will increase. Now, what is our problem in giving and receiving love is that we cannot sustain that state of presence with ourselves in the presence of someone acting in a loving way towards us, or us feeling like we should or want to act in a loving way towards somebody else. And that is where this identity work that I write about comes in. By the way, this is my book, and it's about uncovering those really, really deep unconscious beliefs that you have a hard time getting access to, and so much more than that. So once I have established that connection to love, that I am love, that I am one with love, then what I want to do is I want to watch, when do I abandon this state? What argument of my mind comes up? What fear comes up when I imagine? You can start practicing in your imagination, right? You don't have to go take somebody on a date and practice in the middle of a highly charged situation. For example, if I feel like, I want to receive love, I'm in this love state, somebody comes along, they want to love me, and all of a sudden I feel tension rise up, right? I feel a wall going up. Then I want to question it. And in the book, I tell you more about how to do this, but you basically start listening to the feeling, start listening to the argument, and by process of deduction, find this idea that you mistake for who you are, your identity, that says something that, like, maybe you're a person that is vulnerable to control. And maybe opening up to love opens you up to control. And another thing that I have seen is people feel like they lose their sense of agency, or love creates powerlessness. So naturally I'm going to fight love. I want love, but if I embrace love, then I will not be capable of saying no to what I want to say no to. That is an absolute lie that we tell ourselves. This is not true, but we do carry these identities with us as if they are reality. And not only that, but in the book the book is backwards. In the book, I actually write about why it's so hard to shed them, because this identity is not just a thought. It's your whole reality structure. It proves itself in the world. So you have to learn to start detaching from it despite the proof of it that exists. And what about giving love? If I am with somebody who I love, and right now I'm thinking about my child, but you can think of anyone, right? A lover. And why is it impossible for me to stay present with this person? Why can't I maintain the connection to love inside of me while I am in the present with the one I love? What makes me want to jump out of that state is the anxiety that I have to do more. Maybe it's the belief that you're not enough. Maybe it's the belief that you're responsible for their happiness or your feelings. Your capacity to give and receive love is nothing but your capacity to be in love and just be present with it. And wait until an action occurs, like, oh, kiss them, hug them, that is aligned with that feeling, instead of designed to get you back to that feeling. Most of the breakdowns around love are because we've abandoned love, right? We've disconnected from love from the inside. We're living from that void or that hole, and we're trying to get back to it. And check out this book if I can just get it right. And it is on other platforms as well, but here on TikTok Shop you get a physical copy. Right now it's sold out pretty much everywhere, and the copy is signed, so there you go.